Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Heron Heads podcast. My name is Julio, and I'm joined today by a friend and fellow Inter Miami fan, Dave. Chris and Jose are out gallivanting around town, so it's just the two of us tonight. But Inter Miami have come off of the shellacking against Orlando to beat the defending MLS Cup champions, LA Galaxy, 3-1. Good win heading into this little Leagues Cup match that we have on Wednesday. But yeah, nice to see. We had to have some heroics from Messi, so we'll get into all that fun stuff. But before we begin, a huge shout out to our chief Heron Heads, Chow and Marivi. Thank you so much for your continued generous support. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, join our Discord, or check out our merch store, you'll find links to all those things in our description. So check those out if you're interested. And if you're not, and you're watching on YouTube, hit us with a like, hit us with a subscribe. And for those of you listening on audio, leave us a good rating if you appreciate the show, because we appreciate you. So, Inter Miami win 3-1, and yeah, the vibes are much better today than they were against Orlando. It was I guess I'm not surprised because Messi seems to have been trending back all week, but I'm very happy with how his load management tonight was handled.
Yeah, especially we have a big game coming up next week, so having some of these mainstays being a little fresh for that is really, really pivotal moving forward. And I mean, how I felt when I saw that starting lineup, my first reaction is, man, look at that bench. That's a strong bench, right? And not just saying Messi and Paul, it's just that the bench looked good.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's proof that there's enough quality on this team to do things. And we could have had more before Messi subbed on, so I wasn't too upset with the play. Granted, we know LA Galaxy is a little down on their luck this season, but they still have dangerous players and they do have some quality. Granted, and as well as them being down on their luck, they're playing with kind of a makeshift back line. But I still liked what I saw. You can't expect too much from Fafa in the starting lineup when he hasn't played much with these guys. He always comes in as a sub against tired legs, but you would have liked to see more from him. But I kind of understand why we got what we got. There seemed to be a lot of miscommunication with him and Suarez and some of the other players when they thought he was going to make a run. And I saw him make a ton of runs that nobody actually followed through on. So there's things that need to work on. I hope they don't give up on that. But overall, Mascherano, I give him a pass on this one. I thought he made the adequate moves, and really happy to see that he held off on bringing Messi and DePaul in until half.
Yeah, and I was happy that Fafa wasn't the victim of that.
I thought for sure he was off.
Me too. Fafa played 77 minutes tonight, and yeah, like you said, I thought he was really effective at the things you expect him to be effective at, which is stretch the pitch, make good attacking runs, and he took some good chances that I thought were perfectly fine. He ran into space a couple times. He had a header that was right at the goalkeeper, which is unfortunate. But I thought overall his game was fine, and it's good that he got extended play, not just like a half, because realistically he's not going to be the starter for us in any position, but hopefully it just gives some confidence to Mascherano that, hey, this is someone we can, reliably depend on as a substitution, or in a pinch where you do need him to start, he can go, 70 plus minutes and give you something somewhat good. He obviously didn't find the back of the net, but there were elements there to his game, and he's an MLS veteran at this point, so he obviously doesn't need to prove anything, but obviously to this coaching staff, they may be unfamiliar with his game. But Henry just mentioned it in the chat. We should have been up 3-0 by halftime. Totally agree. Suarez hit the post. Segovia had a goal that was overturned because of a very, very tight offside. But
it's frustrating. I'm getting frustrated with these calls because what is it? The standard is clear and obvious, and that was one of the quickest overturns that I've seen in a while. I've seen them take a lot longer on different plays, and that was very, very close. And for them to be that quick with it is just it's frustrating. It does seem that we're getting the short end of the stick, and you don't want to be claiming you're the victim, but man, can we get one break? Like I feel like these close calls don't go our way ever.
Yeah, and the narrative is so opposite, right? The narrative is like Inter Miami have the refs in their pockets and they have the script and like MLS wants them to win. But I mean, we've not overcome, but like these calls don't go our way. These 50-50 calls never go our way. I mean, still no penalties in our favor in MLS league play. So it's yeah. Do I think it's offside? I'll be honest. I was putting my kid to sleep, so I saw it in replay like once, and I think it was not offside just because of you can't always time up the freeze frame right at the moment that the ball is leaving the foot. And I think it's just one of those, it's so tight that you just can't get it exactly right. And since the call on the field was goal,
Right.
like you said, Dave, like is it clear and obvious to overturn it? I think it's really difficult. I mean, you always have like that angle of the camera and I don't know.
And on top of the fact that it's difficult, it was also such a zoomed out shot because it was the far side of the field. They look like ants on the other side. It's like
Yeah.
how can that shot be what's giving you the clear and obvious call to
Correct.
overtake?
Correct. Yeah. So I don't think it was yeah, I don't think it was handled over correctly. It was very difficult to tell if it was offside or not. For it to be so quick and for it to be so definitive in their opinion to overturn a goal. Yeah, I didn't think so. But the goal came shortly thereafter, the goal that stood, which was from Alba. It was, I think, like 9-10 minutes right after.
Mm-hmm.
Busquets finds him with just a ridiculous pass. And it felt like we said, oh, Busquets has really dropped off. And then since then, he's done one of these passes every single game at minimum.
Good.
I know
our job is done.
It's very clear that he's an avid listener of the Heron Heads. But he plays a beautiful ball into Alba, who was on the right-hand side. And Alba's shot was also crazy. Like they kept showing replays of it, and the window that he put it in, because he went near post on the goalkeeper, but the ball I don't think could have been more to the near post without it bouncing or ricocheting off the post.
It was perfect. He got it as close to the post as possible without touching it, and it was just gorgeous and
beautiful.
It looked like purely intentional too.
Yes,
because he did it with so nonchalant attitude, and he kind of turned around and in my mind he just stared daggers at Allende and be like, this is how you're supposed to shoot the ball from this side of the field, buddy. It's just like, man, it's
ridiculous.
It just shows you how badly we're missing quality play on that side.
Yeah. And man, we had such good flashes of quality from all the veteran players tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the European stars tonight had those flashes of like just ridiculous plays. The Busquets pass, the Alba goal. We can get into
Suarez,
the Messi goal.
The Suarez back heel didn't count.
The Suarez back heel, which didn't count, right to Segovia, was just beautiful. And then Messi subs on at halftime. LA Galaxy get on the board. And I do want to talk about that, but let's talk about the Messi goal first. But Messi's goal, he picks it up and dribbles around 2-3 people. Again, it's so nonchalant, right? Like it's just effortless, right? And the way he strikes his ball and where he puts it is so perfect through traffic, outside the box. And it just nestles in the bottom left corner. It almost feels like he doesn't have to hit it as hard as humanly possible. He just places it, and he knows that the goalkeeper can't get to it. And it's just another thing of beauty. It ends up being the deciding goal. It put us up 2-1, but just there's no words, right? Like it's Messi. Like it's just rinse and repeat.
And it's in a moment too that you feel the game kind of like, I think somebody in the Discord said it. Oh, LA Galaxy's turtling up. Like, yeah, they're starting to just kind of try to steal the point and come away with a 1-1 draw on this one. And then Messi, of course, just takes it, dribbles past 2 defenders, and puts it exactly like you said, right in a spot where nobody can do anything about it. It's a thing of beauty, and I don't get tired of saying it because it's something that is so rare. And once he's gone, we're never going to see something like this again. So yeah, you have to appreciate every little drop that you get of this type of play, and yeah, it really is something special. I didn't see it in the, because again, eyes were glued on Messi. Who fed him that ball?
It was DePaul.
It was DePaul. Good. Yeah. I'm glad he got some credit, because I thought he played pretty well in the 45 that he put in there. So I'm glad that he was able to find the stat sheet. Actually, look at that. They all found the stat sheet.
Yeah, they really did. And that goal came in the 84th minute. So I was already formulating like the storylines, and I was like, man, that 1 point sucks. Like, if we had come out with a tie, that 1 point is so poor. It's so poor. Did the Philadelphia match end? Because I know they were losing.
They were losing at the time when the game went final here, so I'm not sure.
So they did lose.
Great.
So a massive 3 points, right? Like, if you had come out with the draw on an evening where Philadelphia also loses, you're like, humongous opportunity against the worst team in the league to not pick up 3 points on the Union. So, yeah, just what are you going to say about Messi? So let's go back to Painsil's goal, which took place in the 59th minute. And God, what a calamity, man. So what a comedy of errors. Painsil destroyed Chelo all night. It was Jose's like nightmare from the US Open Cup with Yedlin and whoever was on Houston's team. Painsil had Chelo in his pocket, and he takes the ball, dribbles around Chelo like he's just a pedestrian, pulls his pants down.
It was so sad.
And then Lujan can't even get close to Painsil. And then the last bastion, right? Ustari's there. Painsil really has no right to get this ball in the back of the net.
No angle.
Just goes 5-hole on Ustari. Goes between the wickets, as they say. And it's just, there was zero reaction from the entire crowd, from the commentary. It was almost like everyone froze and was like, what just happened? Times 3.
The commentary didn't even think it went in. Like that's right. What you said. You said comedy of errors. It's true, including the main announcer was just like, "Oh, that went in." Like it's just a joke. And
everyone was in disbelief.
It's like, who are you more mad at in that scenario?
Correct.
Because I don't know. I really don't have a straight answer for you on who I should be the most upset at. I think the one I'm least upset at is probably Lujan.
I guess they were all so bad.
I think he did okay-ish.
He did so bad. They all did so bad.
If you think about it, at least he was able to wedge Painsil really, really, really tight between the line and the goal, so he would eliminate the goal scoring angle. So at least in that sense, I thought he did his job to some degree.
Right.
I mean, Chelo was left in the dust, and then you expect your goalkeeper to get in between that ball and the net. So that's why I would say Chelo and well, not even anything. That's why I'm just saying Lujan gets the least amount of blame there.
Yeah, I suppose he did cut off a pass back to the center of the box, but man, he just didn't even get close to him at the end of it, right? But it was so bad, and Chelo was chasing all night. He had one good play where he recovered after Painsil did blow by him again, but he recovered well enough to get the ball back. But it was a rough night for Chelo defensively.
Again,
yeah, it's just not great.
We're seeing that too often for a player who's supposed to hang his hat on his defense.
Yeah, so I'm hoping this was a rotation match, and we see Frey in the League's Cup match against Tigres. But Chelo, yeah, the doors were blown off on Chelo's side over and over and over. Painsil was by far LA Galaxy's best player, most dangerous player, and got his goal. But it was, again, a comedy of errors.
Marco Royce, though, unnoticed.
Completely.
Mm-hmm.
Just, it's interesting because I like half forgot that he was on the team, and then I like load up the game and I'm like, oh right, okay, Marco Royce, gotta watch out for him. Nothing. The midfield, for the most part, dominated the match. I mean, Busquets and Kremaski and who else was in Segovia? I guess it felt like what's the possession? I feel like we had the ball most of the game, and it's mostly because Galaxy. They didn't really do anything with the ball. Galaxy actually had 54% possession, but it just felt like our midfield really, just gave Royce no space to really create.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
I didn't even notice he had the ball. Like,
Right, that's
I'm
what I'm
being honest with
saying.
you, like he didn't have much.
Like all he was able to do was just like facilitate a short pass back to
Mhm.
someone else. But he wasn't able to really turn and open up space with his passing ability. Never really was an option for him.
Right.
But Messi scores, gives us the lead. Suarez gets on the score sheet with the goal. One of the types of goals that Suarez or that Jose would say he had no choice but to score. Messi hits a ridiculous back heel. Suarez made a great run to get him behind. Messi hits a ridiculous back heel that just beats the defense. And Suarez slots it home. Fair play. He had a lot of chances that he should have done better with. The one that hit the post. Pretty unlucky to hit Fafa on his other shot because I thought that one had a really good chance.
You can't blame him for that. Yeah.
Right. But gets his goal. And it's been a long time coming. But that plays all Messi again. It's just like you expect Suarez to score in that situation, but Messi's the one that got him in that situation. No one else.
Yeah. I mean, well, Messi's in the team, and
agree.
Good job for Suarez for making the correct run and for finishing, because we can't take finishing for granted on this team. Unfortunately, we've gotten to a stage where we've seen plenty of gimmies not going in. So absolutely, I give him all the credit in the world for finding the back of the net, because it's been a struggle for him this season. And yeah, I'm not going to take that away from him.
Yeah. Upcode here puts. I'm sorry. I actually meant the gaming gecko here. His reading of the play, Suarez, his reading of the play and understanding of Messi's vision and getting where he needed to be. This is so Suarez too, because this is why he gets mad at everyone else, because no one's at that level except for when he's playing with Messi, except for when he's getting a pass from Alba, except for when he's getting fed by Busquets. When it's anyone else, it's not to Suarez's like mental
Standard,
level. Yeah. He may not have the ability to be at that level,
but he still
for 90
sees
minutes.
The game. Yeah.
Right. In his mind, it's operating at that level of talent. So, yeah, like I expect Suarez to do that when all these guys are on the pitch. And I hate it. He frustrates me so much. But I mean, that's why he's there. Like, this is why he's there. I've said it all season. Like, we need a striker there to score goals at the end of the day. I love when he becomes a playmaker because I think that's where he's been best this season. But man, it's good to see him score, and hopefully that gets him on track and in a run of form where he's just automatic or more effective, because so many shots of his just go completely off the target.
Yeah, we saw some good from him today, even though he only had that one goal. His shots,
yeah,
for the most part, I didn't have a lot of problems with his shots. He had the one that came off the crossbar. He had the other one where he kind of fielded it over the top and he kind of bounced it off his chest.
Yep.
That's a difficult play.
That was early too.
That's a difficult play even for him. And it's a good try. You know, like I'm not too upset about that. He kind of got a bad bounce off of his chest. And then he had the one that he finished and the one that came off of Fafa. So I mean, as far as what we've seen from him, you don't have much to complain about in this one. He had good passes.
Yeah.
He had good strikes. That's all you can really ask for.
He had 3 shots on target, 2 shots off target, 3 shots blocked. Yeah, I would love for him to shoot 8 times every game. I would expect one to be a goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, the old heads really did a number today. But with that said, shall we get into a very direct most and least of the match? This is going to be like a game show.
Yeah.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
And now it's time for Jose's most and least of the match, presented by SofaScore. All right, let's go most of the match, because we say it's Jose's most and least of the match. So let's start with the most of the match. Yeah. Who do you got?
Most of the match.
90, like people that were in the starting lineup.
I was gonna say it's starting lineup.
Starting lineup only, because otherwise
it's Messi.
Otherwise it would be Messi.
Right.
Despite him playing only 45 minutes.
Bless him. I'm gonna have to say, obviously, it's probably gonna be Suarez. Again, just for all the reasons that we just mentioned. The fact that he had so many shots on goal, the fact that he had good passing, he did find the back of the net. And he's usually already rated pretty high because he is a striker. So I am gonna go with Suarez.
Yeah, we have a winner in the chat. Shoes and Truckho. Alba. Jordi Alba had a 8.6. He had a really nice game. Obviously, he had the goal. He was all over the pitch tonight.
It's true.
He was on the right side more than I've like ever seen, except for when he's been like moved to the midfield. But he was really just roaming wherever. And
there was a sequence there. Well, honestly, it was a sequence that he scored. Everybody had flipped because it was coming off of a set piece. So I noticed Fafa was on that side. I'm like, that's odd. And then I noticed, and then that's when Alba broke out, and I was like, okay, they just flipped sides. That's all it was. But yeah, it's nice. Maybe that confused the defense, and they're like, what are you doing on this side? And it kind of
just lost track of him.
Yeah, they weren't expecting that, and I'll take it. Yeah, but it's true. Of all the, Alba had a fantastic match. Makes sense. What was his rating?
8.6, and then Suarez and Fafa joint tied for second with 7.7. We already spoke about both of them, but I both had a very good match, and I was super excited when I saw the starting lineup of Fafa and Suarez, and not one or the other. I think there's something to having both of them on the pitch.
Yeah, we just have to find chemistry there,
Yeah,
and I think it can be found. Suarez has been able to feed players into the box with nice crosses, and one player who can actually get up and put those in the back of the net with headers is Fafa. So it makes sense that they're both in there.
Totally agree. A lot of people in the chat commenting about Baltasar. He was really good when he substituted on. He was only in for like 13. I guess after 7 minutes of extra time, it was like 20 minutes. He was really good, man. That first shot that he took, man, it would have been a goal were it not for a really great save.
There were two really good saves by their goalkeeper in this one, and it's frustrating because, man, can we get a crap goalkeeper? Like everybody, they
For
elevate. Real. I've never seen such consistent good goalkeeping against one team, and it's always against us.
They're locked in, man.
It's insane, man. But we had two really good chances. One was really early in the game, and then one at the end. Actually, no, I take it back. The one that was really early that I'm thinking of is the post shot. I was like, man, how do you block that?
I thought he saved it as well.
Yeah. That's the post shot. So no, he had that one really good save that, like you said in the Discord, that it was aimed at the cobwebs in the corner of the top post. Man, that was such a good shot. And if you noticed, every shot that we had outside of the box in this one was either stuffed in the right at the inception or nowhere near the goal,
except for Messi.
They weren't dangerous. But after this Baltasar goal, you notice after the Baltasar shot, you notice that it kept the defense a little more honest, and in doing so, it allowed for more over-the-top play into the box. It really does open the box. So if you can just get some kind of consistent shot attempts from outside the box that are actually dangerous, that makes a huge difference. And Allende, to his credit, tried some, but there were some atrocious attempts. And I think if Baltasar can stay healthy, that might be a really, really good option to take Allende off the starting line.
Yeah, totally agree. So speaking of Allende, let's get into our least of the match. Who do you think was the least of the match? There are two tied for last.
I want to say Allende, but I'm going to fight that, and I'm going to go with my usual suspect of Chelo. I think, like we said earlier, Chelo was getting cooked up and down the field. I don't want to keep harping on it because I do think there's a better option sitting behind him, and that's why I have to keep doing this. Because Allende, there's no true replacement. Maybe Baltasar is that, but the thing with Chelo is I know there's a better product behind him, and they just don't use him. So I will 100% stick to my forever hatred of Chelo Wegar.
I think it's warranted, and I think I'm surprised his rating isn't lower, but we'll get to Chelo's rating. He is not the least of the match. The least of the match is Allende and Lujan with the 6.5. Lujan, he had like one good play on Gabriel Peck, but otherwise had a just invisible night. Didn't really notice him. Felt like he got beat. Obviously got destroyed in the Paintsville goal. And then Allende, just ineffective. Generally ineffective. I would say like Royce. Like you just don't notice him.
I noticed
and he has.
Allende had the ball, and Allende struggled to reel it. Like it's the same issues that we're seeing with Allende game in and game out. Struggling to reel in the ball when he has the possession. Like when he's alone on the attack, he stumbles over himself. Has to at one point he just tripped.
Yes.
over nothing.
Yes.
It's frustrating to see that. Like,
And it's funny because
Suarez
when
do
he did that, it was exactly the type of ball that I'm like, that's how we need to get the ball to Allende, where it's just a ball over the top and he needs to run to it. He was able to like slow down almost to a walk to get to it, and like you said, he just tripped over the turf monster.
It's embarrassing. Like, remember when Suarez did that, and we're like, oh my god, he's washed. He
Yes.
needs to retire.
Yes.
Allende's not at that stage in his
No.
career where he needs to retire. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, it's frustrating because he has the physical talent that you need. He just needs to get the mental and get his head out of his ass. It feels like,
Right.
It's like, come on, man.
Totally agree. So
Hard to have.
Allende and Lujan had a 6.5, Segovia and Kremaski 6.7, Falcon 6.8, Chelo 6.9. So Chelo was like right smack dab in the middle.
How
But
do you have a 6.8?
I'm curious your opinion on Kremaski and Segovia once you say your piece on Chelo.
I was just surprised he had a 6.8, because when you get burned left and right, I didn't see the redeeming play from him to really kind of warrant a middling score.
Right.
And then as far as Segovia, I mean, Segovia gets dinged probably for coming off at the half. And on for the offside, I bet the
time to
offside
accumulate the stats.
Yeah, the offside hurts him. It stinks that goal was called back, because I thought
I agree.
I thought that Segovia's play was miles better than Kremaski. And then Kremaski, how I felt the entire match was, first when he got the start, I was like, okay, his complaining
it paid off.
His complaining paid off. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. So yeah, he found himself in the starting lineup, and I didn't think he did anything with it, if I'm being honest with you. The midfield, they kept serve, but I didn't see anything from Crema that warranted any kind of praise. He did try to get some. The thing is, what I've noticed with his passes when he tries to get them into the attack is that they're never accurate, or they're not that they're inaccurate, or they're just not placed well. So it kind of destroys the momentum of the player trying to track the ball to get back in it, and then it allows the defense to get back. Like, timing is very important when you do some of these passes, and the timing's not there and the accuracy's not there. So I get it. He wants to play, and you have to play to get better. But when there are better options and people who are playing better than you, you can't complain that you're not getting the minutes. Like, you have to, when you do get the minutes, you have to show out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I've seen other guys be better in those spots. So it is tough. It's tough, and I get it from his perspective. He wants to develop, but I don't see, like, if Frey was making that argument, I would be 100% behind him, because, like, yes, I do believe you're behind somebody who's worse than you, but who are you taking off for Crema to play consistently and not being a drop off? That's the only issue there, and I did see a drop off. And I'm like, man, I wish they had taken Crema off instead of Segovia.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's coming off the back of him complaining of being played out of position. And again, I think today he was played out of position. I don't think he is, because he played effectively Bright's role is what he was asked to do tonight. And that is not his game at all. I think he's dipped in quality and form since, 2 years ago when Messi first joined. But it's just, like, everything feels rushed. His touches it looks like he's trying to do too much. Like, he's trying to be better. He wants to be better, but he just needs to let the game come to him a little bit more and have the patience and have the confidence in himself to know that when he makes that decision, it's going to work out the way he envisions it. But right now it just feels like he's thinking way faster than his body's able to do it. And that just ends up being a bad touch, a bad pass, a bad decision. And it just makes him look bad. But again, I think he was out of position tonight as far as what he was asked to do compared to what his skill set is. And just an invisible match, like another invisible player sort of, where nothing quite stood out. There was nothing egregious that he did tonight.
Right. And I feel bad because I like Crema. I like him as a player a lot, and I hope he develops and he continues to grow. And I also do see the value and I admire his willingness to do whatever the team needs. That's something that I feel like a lot of soccer players, a lot of athletes in general don't do. They see themselves as something, and they're saying, this is my best path to do well, and I'm not going to deviate from that. And it's extremely admirable that he does do whatever is needed. He will play left back in a pinch. He'll play as CDM at one point. He'll play wing. Like he honestly will go out there and give his best. And he does pretty decently at everything that he's been tried to do. So I don't want to sound overly harsh on Crema, because I do enjoy him and I do enjoy the fact that he gives it his all. But it's just tough. Like the way that this team is set up, it's tough to give him the amount of time that he's been asking for.
I totally agree with you. I wanted to touch on something that quite a few people in the chat posted about our set pieces and how we don't score off of them often. We had 13 corners tonight, which has to be like a club record because we are notoriously very low quantity, low volume corner takers.
And 90% of them were short corners.
Yes, which I always hate, but it seems to be the only way we can score off of them. Not that we did tonight, but what do you think about the fact that we have trouble scoring off of set pieces? We also concede a lot off set pieces. Luckily, we didn't tonight, but what do you think about that?
I think they're both the fact that we don't score a lot on set pieces and the fact that we concede a lot on set pieces. I think a lot of it is the same issue, is that we are a tiny team.
Yep.
We are a tiny club. Unfortunately, we don't have the size. When we're saying that Fafa Pico is our best header taker, that's an issue. Yes, Fafa is exceptional for his size, but he shouldn't be your best header. He shouldn't. Like if you think about who's scored off of headers on set pieces, it's been Fafa, Toto, and I think it might have been Ian Frey. Oh, and Falcon, and I think Falcon once. And that's it. And I don't think other than Frey, none of those other players other than Fafa are really any kind of consistent threats. Now, the fact that Falcon and Toto did it 2 years ago is not it's not something to really hang your hat on. This is not something that this club seems to pride itself on. They do see themselves as able to score in different ways. And they've seemed to have just conceded the fact that they're not gonna score that way, and they seem to be okay with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just a physical thing. Like we're just not a tall team, like you said, and we only score if it's directly from the actual set piece. Like if it's directly from the shot that's taken by Messi. Usually, I think it's not anything greater than that, and it's not like we have a masterful tactician managing this team to sort of overcome the deficiencies we have in the height department on this club. So I don't think it's much deeper than that, but you would like if there was more variety in the ways we could score. I think tonight was a good sign that we were taking shots from outside the box, like you mentioned earlier. I think that opens up a lot of opportunities for us, but it is what it is. And it's been this way for the club for years, the set piece thing. I remember when we had the matchups against Nashville, and Nashville felt like they towered over us at every single position. And every time they had a corner, it was just like, all right, time to get under the covers and hide behind the pillows and just see what happens. But yeah, it was a good win. I wanted to take a look here at the standings now. So with the win, Inter Miami are 6 points behind Philadelphia with 3 games in hand. Cincinnati could take a 1 point lead over Philadelphia. They have a game in hand on them, but that would put us only 7 back with 3 in hand. So we control our own destiny. Just win out, right?
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. And next up is Tigres in the Leagues Cup. So that match will be on
Wednesday, I believe, right?
Wednesday at 8 p.m. Tigres is a legit team. So I'm very curious. A lot of people are asking about Messi. Apparently, he just, as soon as the whistle blew, the final whistle, he went straight down the tunnel and straight to his car. Like, not even to, basically just picked up his stuff from the locker room and then went straight to his car. We don't know. We don't want to speculate. But if Messi's unavailable, I think that Tigres match becomes very, 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 very complicated. as most matches would be without Messi.
I didn't notice Messi get dinged up at all in this one. Did you?
I mean, no, not at all. Not at all. I mean, he looked spry on the goal he scored. He looked great on the back heel that he fed to Suarez, which was almost at the end of the match. So I don't know, but with those soft tissue injuries, you don't know, right? Like it could be any movement that sort of tweaks it and just aggravates that. So I don't know. Again, I don't want to speculate. There hasn't been any report, obviously, at this time. The match just ended, 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. So we'll see. We'll see what comes out. Obviously, follow us at the Heron Heads on socials to keep up with anything. If anything's reported, we'll always be talking about it, reporting it. Join our Discord. Links in the description. All the people in there are Inter Miami fans posting about it. Most of them, at least. But yeah, it's we'll be back live Wednesday night after the Tigres match. If anyone's interested, the Heron Heads, we're starting a new show. We will have our first debut watch along episode tomorrow morning. It's the opening match week for the pretty much all the major European leagues, but we will be doing a watch along for Chelsea versus Crystal Palace tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to be over on the 786 Sports YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, go drop a subscribe over there, and we will be live at 9 a.m. tomorrow. For those of you that are interested, we'll just be hanging out, watching the game, and teaching the other two about Chelsea culture and history. But it will be a more generic world football show. It won't always be Premier League. It won't always be Chelsea. But check it out. Really appreciate all the support we can get. Appreciate you guys supporting us on this show on the Heron Heads. And for those of you that stuck with us till the end, if you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you for tuning into the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a great rest of your weekend.
We'll be right back.